Hi, I'm Alexey from Inflectra Rapise team. Today we're going to look at a situation where we have a managed application. It's an application that's mostly implemented, as we can see from its sources, in DevExpress, because many of such libraries are used in it. And it also has some custom controls. So we will consider a way how to explain custom controls for a piece. This is the case where controls are simply inherited from known controls. And how to make a library so these definitions may be reused across your test set and test cases. Okay, let's go. So we are starting Rapise instance. And we are going to create a new test. So there we will do our work. Create a test, call it sample lab tests. Default type and JavaScript. In this case, JavaScript is good for start. When we're done, JavaScript is not required, and you will have a library that may be used in both JavaScript and Aria. Okay, so let me start recording and choose my application and try to interact with it. So what I see, my actions, my object is recognized as managed object and not as radio group, while Rapise is able to work with radio group well. And another situation is that my actions are recorded using L-click, which is not good at all, because it's the worst case of recording, because left-click means no high-level action will recognize. In this case, we prefer to have select item rather than L-click, because select item it doesn't depend on coordinates and only depends on item. Okay, let's see what we can do here. We are looking at this control using SPY because it provides more information, and we see the type of this control. Now we may investigate this control. I already did this investigation, and I can see that this control, custom control, actually inherits from standard standard DevExpress control, and this one is actually supported by Rapise. So let us add support for this inherited control also. This may be done in the following way. I'm going to the test file and I'm going to add an engine here. Engine means the sources of Rapise engine. I can add them using this key combination. So Shift Control E shows me engine here, and now I can do file search and find my base control. Find in files, there is a place where this control defined. Now I want to have a bit modified version of this control. I want to inherit all the behavior and so on, but just change the component type so it also recognized my custom control. This is what I'm going to do right now. The right place to insert my control definition is so that it's visible for both recorder and playback is TestPrepare function. TestPrepare. So this test will have some additional information for it. Now I'm going to copy this definition of control and put it here. I don't need this variable. I'm going to use this object type as a base object and name object type as custom hyperlink editor, and change component type to be one that actually available in my application under test. One more step, it's optional, but it doesn't harm. I'm going to remove this behavior. If I leave it, it will just use it. but it's already included into the base object, so I don't need it here at all. Okay, so I have this short definition of the control. Now what happens if I do recording? Select application, click performance, and what I see is that my control is now recognized as DX custom hyperlink. This is actually my custom control definition, and this is what I wanted. So I may proceed in the same way, find this radio group control, find in files, find it. Oh, come on. It was searching in selection, find all. Oh, no, sorry. I should be searching for base, not for my custom. Okay, find all. Okay, here it is. Again, I'm going to reuse this definition, copy, go to my test function, TestPrepare function, paste it here. I don't need this variable, it's for internal use. Use type as parent, keep class name the same. If I need to keep something the same, I'm just removing it from here. Keep behaviors the same, and give a different object type, custom radio group. Now use actual component type for my new rule. Okay, so now we have two rules. One is for my custom radio group and another for custom link editor. So what happens if I'm doing recording at this point? It uses logic built into a DevExpress radio group, so it's doing recording on a high level using select item. So this is my recording, and it's not clicks, but something high level. Now, what happens if I want to reuse the same in the other test? Unfortunately, at this point, I will have to use this TestPrepare function in other tests, or put common logic into the JavaScript file and include it inside TestPrepare function. Both are possible. And there is a third way that we may use custom logic, and I'll describe it in a separate video on how to create a library. At this point, we're done with this kind of solution. Thank you for attention.